been walking for about an hour now. Left Winchester on the South Downs Trail. I was just coming up this little lane, and outside someone's house there was a bucket full of apples. So I just thought I'd stop here for a break and eat my free apple. The sun's starting to come out now, it's getting a bit toasty. I've done a few miles, got about 100 plus something, 115 or so to go. And there's a bit of a hill going up there as well, so get myself ready for that. Should be out in the countryside soon. Just got to the top of this hill, and I believe that's the last view of Winchester I'm going to have. Winchester City down there. There's some funny little satellite things over there. I'm quite sure what that is. So there's Winchester. Now I'm heading off down that way. There's the trail there. Looks like there's a couple of pheasants down here. There's one. There was another one that ran across the path in front of me, but I think he's vanished. I think they've got babies. Oh, there's the other one. Left the city now, so we're out in the countryside, just walking through this sort of park thing. It's getting a bit sweaty though. The sun was coming out, so I've had to put my floppy hat on. Let's see if I can. I don't know if it's getting my face because my arm's twisted around holding the camera in my right hand. Walking on this gravel stuff. Got a few hours to go yet till I reach my first campsite. It's getting quite late though, because I didn't I left really late this morning and it took a few hours to get to the start point. So hopefully it'll still be light by the time I get to the campsite. I'll cook some dinner then. Just come from down there. Found this nice little quiet spot to stop for a break. There's a few sheep over there. Now I'm heading off up that way, up over the hill. It's pretty quiet around here. So off we go. Right, end of day one on my first ever through hike, and as is pretty standard for me, it went rapidly downhill. After I took my break and made the last video, I carried on with the trail, and somewhere along the line I missed a sign and took a wrong turn and went massively out of the way. After a while I thought something's not right here, so I tried to get the GPS on my telephone and it was not happening, no signal, it was just a blank green screen and it couldn't find me, and there was no road markings or anything to show where the trail was. So I turned around, I think it's raining, I retraced my steps and eventually I managed to find out. The GPS picked up where I was, and it turned out the campsite I had booked for tonight was still about 11 miles away, and this is at 5 o'clock now, and it was saying it was going to take me another 3 or 4 hours to get there. So I cracked on, and luckily I walked past this campsite, so I thought, oh, I can either push on through the night and hope to get to the other campsite and put a tent up in the dark and have some food and all that, or I thought I can take the hit and stay at this site and I'll just make up the extra distance tomorrow, which is what I'm going to do. It means I can relax tonight, it just means I've got to make up another 11 miles tomorrow, which I wasn't planning, which means I've got to do about a 26-mile day tomorrow. So I think I'm going to get a fire on, have some dinner, read my book for a little bit, and then get an early night and get up and leave early tomorrow. Yeah, and then do the 26-mile day and hopefully get to the accommodation I've got booked tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Right, this is the end of day one. Feet a little bit sore, not too bad. Oop, losing my balance. So, a little bit of whiteness, but here's the real kicker. Apologise for looking at my ass, but matching both sides. Oh, look at that. So that's day one, 7 more to go. Alright, start of day 2, Wednesday, and because of yesterday's palaver, let me turn this around, because of yesterday's incident, I'm going to try today to push on to the correct site that I have booked for tonight, which is about 27 miles. So I thought I'll get up nice and early and leave and just walk as far as I can. And obviously that didn't happen. It's now 10 to 9 and I've only just left the site. So it's typical, I'm late for everything all the time. So I've got 27 miles to make up today. Well, you know, worst case scenario, I might come across another campsite and it's just annoying because I've booked all the accommodation in advance, obviously because of the COVID virus. I thought I'd pre-book everything to make sure they had space, so, which means I paid for a lot of them up front. So if I keep using different campsites, it's going to cost me loads of money. Anyway, probably not going to take that many pictures today. I'm just going to keep walking and walking, get as far as I can. At the moment, just walking down this long track by this field. I'll just get my walking poles out in a minute and get a bit of a yomp on the go. Just coming down through the nature reserve. There's a pretty good view here. Some serious zoom. Man, coming up these hills, I don't know if you can see that, but today it's just been hills, hills, hills. I'm sweating buckets. My feet are destroyed. I twisted my knee earlier coming downhill, and ever since then it's just been uphill. And I was just thinking to myself, with all the pain and suffering, I'd rather do this than spend my whole day sitting in a pub. At least this is worthwhile, even though it hurts. Oh, I was going to show you the view then, but I'm looking at myself. How do I turn the camera around? No, I can't. Never mind. Yeah, this hill has just gone on for ages. I've still got a bit to go. Up through that gate and up over the top. I don't know if you can see the sweat coming down my face. Never mind, keep going. times are bad. I've got horrendous feet issues at the moment, so this is the pace I'm walking at currently. It's just absolute pain. Every step it's like standing on a bed of nails. I've got to walk all the way up this track, which that little end bit looks pretty steep from back here. You see it's still quite a way away. Quite far. I've got a tin of tuna in my bag, and I was just walking up here and it suddenly occurred to me that in my entire life I've never ever been looking forward to eating a tin of tuna as much as I am right now. I think my feet are just crying out for some protein, as well as my glute muscles, but just the feet issue at the moment is horrendous. So I've got another 2 miles to get to my campsite for this evening, so we're going to see when I get there. I might reevaluate the plan, so hopefully it'll still be light when I get there. It's now 10 to 5 in the evening, so it's been a very slow day. Just finished climbing to the top of yet another hill. I don't know if you can see over there. There's the last hill and also the biggest one of the day. So my hair's all over the place. Hopefully I've just got to go down the other side and that should be the campsite. I'm going to have to try and wash this shirt somehow because it is absolutely soaked in sweat. Gross. There's a bit of a view over there, that way. I don't know if you can see this side. Oh, there's a few bushes in the way. They're pretty high up. There's one of those telegraph pole things over there, or whatever that is, satellite thing. Now this is the problem I'm having. It's just these rocks. Like 90% of the path so far has either just been loose, gravelly rock like this, or concrete. And it's just, that's what's making the bottoms of my feet sore, just digging in. Which I'll, hopefully when I get to the site, I'm going to explain what the problem is with my feet, which makes this so bloody painful. So it shouldn't be there. Shouldn't be too long now. I've got to get to the bottom of the hill. That's about half a mile away, I think, to the site. So I should be there soon. As you can see, I'm at home now. I've been home for a couple of days. Unfortunately, I had to cancel the trip because I had severe feet issues. So I got to the campsite on the second day. Really, it must have been, what time was it? It was about 7 o'clock in the evening, so it took me 10 hours just to do 12 miles, which was ridiculous. By the end of the day, the last sort of 5 miles or so, I was just reduced to a shuffle. The problem I'm having, or I was having, is the shoes I have, they're like minimalist barefoot shoes. So on the sole, you can see the sole's really flat and it's like really flexible and thin, so it's supposed to be as close to barefoot as you can get. So if you imagine it's kind of like just wearing a pair of socks, like thick socks. So if you imagine you've got all the weight on your back pushing down and you spend like 10 hours walking on gravel and stones, it's just like stones into bones all day long, just over and over again. And it gets pretty painful after a while. But then the other thing I didn't even realise, when I got to the campsite at the end of that second day, I took my boots off, I sat down, I took my socks off, and my socks were soaking wet with sweat, and the bottoms of my feet were just rotten, like disintegrated, where they just got so wet and they'd been so hot and wet all day. I'll put some pictures up so you can see, it's pretty gnarly. But you can see, I didn't even realise these boots, there's just no air or breathability to them at all. They're just solid leather all the way around. There's no ventilation or anything. So my feet were boiling hot all day because it was pretty hot. Like, sort of in the afternoon, I was really sweating at some points. So anyway, that's the story with the shoes. It was just like, they're just not designed for that kind of long distance over that kind of rugged terrain. But my feet are kind of healed up now. They're not as bad. There's a little blister there. And that one, there's a blister there. Apart from that, they're pretty good. Now, so the plan, first thing I'm going to do is get some different shoes, obviously. I'm going to get some shoes with a solid sole on them so that you can't feel all the stones digging into your feet constantly. And then something that's obviously got some ventilation in it, so my feet aren't cooking in a sauna all day. And then I'm going to go back and restart. Well, I'm not going to restart the trail. I'm going to start from where I finished. Which is a bit disappointing because I was hoping to do the whole trail in one stretch, but so it won't be a through hike anymore, and it'll be a sectional hike when I go back. I'm going to start where I finished and carry on to the end. I'm going to evaluate some of my other gear as well, try and minimise the stuff I was carrying, because I weighed the bag earlier and I was carrying sort of 20, I think it was like 21.5 kilos, which isn't too much, but when you've got that pushing down on your feet with those shoes, it wasn't the best idea. But I was just wearing a normal pair of trousers and a normal shirt, so I think I'm going to invest some money and get some proper hiking gear, like lightweight, waterproof trousers, that kind of thing, and like this, they do the special shirts that wick away the sweat, you know, that kind of thing. And get a smaller sleeping bag as well. My sleeping bag was like this big in the bottom of my bag, so I try and get a smaller one, and then go again. So that's the end of that. But to be honest, the whole thing was a disaster right from the start, because I started day one, I was way behind schedule. I didn't even get to the start of the trail until midday, which was ridiculous. I should have started at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I took a wrong turn somewhere, and I went miles out of the way before I realised. I thought something's not right here. I was like deep in the countryside, and there was no trail. So I had to turn around and retrace my steps, and that lost me a couple of hours faffing about. So I ended up, by the end of the first day, I was way behind schedule, and my feet were a little bit sore then. They were starting to get sore. And then the second day I got up and carried on, and sort of early in the morning I was faffing about trying to put my camera back in the bag. So I'd just taken some pictures and I was putting it in the bag, and I was going downhill, and I buckled my knee a little bit, so I was limping for like an hour, and then the feet just got worse and worse throughout the day, and I only managed to cover 12 miles, which that was like half of what I was supposed to do, so it wasn't very good. I think new shoes is the priority number one. And we'll go back and finish the trail. Alright, I was just quite interested to see how much my bag actually weighed on the trip. So what I'm going to do is weigh myself now and see how much I weigh. So we'll do that. £166. The camera will focus. 166.8 pounds. There you can see it now, focused. 166.8. Alright, so I've repacked the bag with everything that was in it on the trip. I've put all the same food back in, filled up my water containers to the exact same amount that I had on the trip. I'm wearing the same clothes. You can probably tell I still haven't washed the shirt. Look at that. And it's like salt stains from sweat that have come through the shirt on there. It's pretty gross. So this bag is exactly how it was on the trip. So we're going to weigh it now. I should have this before that. had them in my hand for the trip, but for now we can just go in here. That's everything. Right. So now we're going to see the weight. Got the same boots on. That says 214.4 pounds. So that's quite a lot. I'll have to, what was it before, 166. I'll work it out in a minute and I'll put the kilos on the screen so we can see the difference in weight.